When he played, they were all playing for second, in my opinion. You can look at the record.
He's one of the best players I ever played with, and I've been playing golf all my life.
Golf was his profession. Hunting and fishing was his passion.
Jim Stamps was a man of many hats, a teacher of the game, and a distinguished playing career on many levels. It all started at College Park.
This is where my dad grew up playing golf, but caddying first and then playing, and actually played in some public links tournaments for, I believe, 4 straight years, and they were throughout the United States.
Stamps would win numerous tournaments across the state of Georgia, impressing people with each swing of the club.
The first time I played with him, I was not prepared for how good he was. In fact, I was a little intimidated at first. He was a big man, had big hands, had great golf swing. Seems like his golf swing was just one that would never hit a bad shot, and he didn't.
Oh, he was a real character. He was very gruff. Big guy, I mean 6'4", probably weighed 250. Very gruff, but just had a heart of gold on him.
For even the best of golfers, making a hole-in-one is few and far between. For Jim Stamps, it became a regular feat.
This is hole number 8, and where he had one of his aces. Per the paper, 215-yard 4-iron, which is a pretty good 4-iron. So, but he did have an ace here, and he had several aces throughout his years.
Well, I'll tell you this, I played with a lot of guys. I played with guys that won major championships. I've never seen anybody hit the ball as much at the pin as him.
Great player. He had the best long iron game that I ever saw anywhere, anybody have. And they don't hit those long irons like he did.
Stamps served in the U.S. Marine Corps during World War II, but that would not take him away from the game of golf.
When he was in the Marines, he still played his amateur golf, and then when he got out of the Marines, he played here until the middle 50s as an amateur, and then that's when he turned pro and went on to Chattanooga or Signal Mountain and then to Dalton.
At Dalton, Jim Stamps would make an immediate impact as a player and as a teacher.
It was just a delight when Jim first came here. He was well received by the members. Everybody liked him. They liked taking lessons from him. They liked playing golf with him. Jim was a jewel.
Everybody knew when he came here he was by far the best golfer that had ever been around here. For instance, we would go down like to Moultrie and play in that Pro-Am down there, and they'd have a Calcutta. He was 50% of the pot would be him. That's how much he was respected.
Stamps always brought out the best in others. During his time as a golf professional, he would challenge his players, and one particular lesson stands out.
He had this kid over there named Gary Guerin who was 13 or 14, and he picked up the balls for him. So he said, "Mr. Stamps, would you give me a club so I could learn how to play golf?" Guess what club he gave him? Gave him a 1-iron, the hardest club to hit. And Gary, to this day, could hit a 1-iron just like Jack Nicklaus, straight up in the air.
Dalton became home to Stamps. He played on the course, taught on the course, and even
built the course. He designed it and built it pretty much. I can remember today seeing him on a tractor out there. He didn't have any of the big stuff, and he laid the club out and laid the course out, and he pretty well built it.
when Stamps was not around the game of golf, he was an avid fisherman and hunter.
He caught some big bass, out of these lakes. He killed some big deer.
I took him hunting down to my farm one time, and he loved to hunt, and we were bird hunting, and he said we followed the birds, the dogs followed the birds. All of a sudden I was just looking down between our legs, and he looked down, and those birds just about that time decided it was time to come up. And they just came right up between us.
Jim Stamps, a driving ability well before his time, and a knack for sharing that talent with others. But most importantly, he was a great ambassador for the game of golf.
Jim was such an all-around nice person. and represented golf so well.
Of all the players that we've had come through this area, I think he was right at the top of the list as far as ability.
When I received the phone call, I cried.